Okay, this is Trophy Gold, the Rime Palace, part of the Lives of the Sisters campaign. I want to do just a little bit of um, recap and a little bit of housekeeping. And for people on the call, let me know how my audio is, if it's like starting to stutter or whatever, because I can switch to another data thing. I don't know if it was. I'm like super worried about that now. So, something I think about all the time. I think I should reset the router, but just let me know. So yeah, last time the characters they managed to, after a sort of kind of daring rescue and encounter, they managed to get inside the Rime Palace. That led to this part of the palace called the Hall of Games. There were several fey trickeries going on. There was an assassination attempt or a murder attempt by one of the Davies sisters. And ultimately, the last thing we saw was in an attempt to rescue the markswoman Ithilda, is her name? Editha. No. Editha?
That's Editha.
Yeah, in an attempt to rescue Editha from a massive crystalline spider web beneath the Hall of Games, a sort of construct thing was rigged up for scum to be lowered down into to sort of keep the spiders at bay and to rescue Editha. Essentially, scum was made to look like an insectoid creature made of phoenix forge iron using an illusion, and that kept these sort of like strange crystal spiders down in the pit at bay while scum freed Editha. And they were being raised up from that pit when a siren who had been sort of not tormenting, but sort of interacting with Ethelinda, appeared there with scum, and that's kind of where we were at. There was a lot of other detail in there that I kind of glossed over, but if there's anything like particularly important that I forgot, like call it out now.
Sarah got us the masks we need, I think.
Yes, that is a very important detail. These masks are supposed to basically disguise you from the guardians of the palace. So that is a good thing. We're going to talk about those masks in a little bit. Okay, fabulous. So with that said, I do want to do just a little bit of housekeeping. I want to take a look at the characters, and I want to know how many hunt roll tokens you have and how close you are to satisfying your burdens right now in terms of how much treasure you've found. So how are things looking for scum right now?
I have 0 hunt tokens, and I have 5 treasures on me, including 3 that I know will be worth 1 gold each after I sold them. So, and my burdens are at 3, so I think I'm good on that end.
Okay, fabulous, good. Let's go to Korkaluk. How are you looking on treasure and burdens and hunt roll tokens?
Like, well, once I sell the things I'm carrying, I'm at 4 gold and 4 burdens, so I'm breaking even.
Okay, good.
And, I have 0 hunt roll tokens. I spent the ones I had.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Osto, how are we doing?
I currently have 3 gold worth of treasure. Could I just convert one of my 2 hunt tokens to a gold?
We could definitely start. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, and then I'll have met my burdens.
Okay, awesome. And how many hunt roll tokens?
I have 2. Sorry, so I'll be converting both of them.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, you just said that. Fabulous. Thank you. Hey, Fraser, we did like a little quick recap, and now we're just doing some housekeeping. I want to know how many hunt roll tokens you have and how close are you to meeting your burdens?
My burdens is 1, and hunt roll tokens 0, gold 1.
Your burdens should actually be 3 because it's 1 plus your
Oh, okay.
armor and weapons. So let's change that. Okay, sorry. How much gold did you have again? You have
Just
one
one.
gold. Okay, and
So
then
too short.
okay, awesome. And yeah, and no hunt roll tokens. Okay, cool. So again, Scum was lowered down into the pit to rescue Editha, and there was an illusion around Scum to make him look like this fearsome phoenix forged iron monstrosity that would keep the crystalline spiders at bay while Scum did this. And the siren, who had up to this point only Ethelinda is aware of, is now appearing to Scum, clutching onto this little bundle being lifted back up out of the pit. And I think we're going to kick off from there. So I don't remember exactly what I said last time, but we're going to just pick up from here. The siren looks at you, Scum, and says, "Your people do not frequently cross the sea, and so I have not yet had a chance to become acquainted with your taste. Perhaps you would, as an act of generosity and an act of mutual affection, allow me to taste a little bit of you, creature."
I'm not really in the habit of letting strangers taste me. Perhaps I'd like to wait until my comrades have hoisted us up, and perhaps one of them will be more inclined to access to your request.
Well, in fact, your companion Ethelinda is the one who told me about you and suggested that I may find you to be most interesting in this way. It was her idea. Maybe we could just, a little nibble, a little bloodletting. It doesn't have to be painful.
Maybe I should have a talk with Ethelinda first, just to be sure.
Maybe you should. And he disappears.
Yeah, let's do that. Whip.
And you were hauled out of the pit with Editha, who is kind of in a catatonic state right now, if I'm being honest. We may go about addressing that in a moment, but what do you do after you get pulled out of the pit, Scum?
Ethelinda, can I talk to you for just a minute? Just the two of us, if you'd be so kind.
Of course.
Listen here. There was some strange person with me in the pit. Just no clothes on them, and they wanted to take a bite out of me. I don't know. I don't press for details. It just seems so strange. But apparently you know them.
It's good to know that they're real, to be honest. I wasn't sure if I was just seeing things in this odd place. But they are some kind of siren that was lured here when I used my power to guide a ship. And I feel they're probably very powerful, very dangerous. And so far I've been placating them. But honestly, I'm not sure what to do.
I wouldn't know either. I thought sirens kept to the sea.
One hopes.
Well, anyway, maybe we should let the others know so they can keep an eye out, just in case.
I nod, but my eyes are wide and I look around as in maybe they're watching as well. So should be tactful.
Well, then I'll just go up to Korkulak and Osto to let them know of my encounter.
Indeed. I don't know if the two of you have anything to say to that. If you do, by all means, but
just that humans have some really strange habits.
A siren, why not?
It should be on a t-shirt. Good. the Editha issue. And I think before you press forward through the gossamer curtain that goes to the next passage, I think you should probably deal with Editha, because it's going to be a bit of a mess just carrying her around. That's not going to be convenient. Who has the most helpful skills in terms of possibly getting her out of this like catatonic dream state that she's in, or just to sort of revive her? Skills or equipment, I suppose. Is that no one so far? So,
Just having a look at the character sheets. Could you clarify what attunement means?
Yeah. So could Editha attune her back to the sort of the realm of consciousness and non-hallucination?
I like
That's
that.
what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, I'm down to try that. Like try to bring her back by bringing her kind of like into focus into this realm or something.
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, I think that's really good. It's definitely a risk roll. And what do we think, everybody else, what do we think could go wrong here if the roll fails? Like, how bad could this be?
The spiders laid some eggs inside Editha.
Oh, that's really good. I like that as a devil's
And they
bargain
come
too.
out. They come out of her mouth as Ethelinda tries to wake her up.
Sounds good to me. Any other thoughts?
Definitely more gross than what I was picturing. I was thinking just that like when you strike a tuning fork, that the ice spiders hear it and come scuttling forth from their pit.
That could be interesting too. Yeah, like they're drawn to it somehow, right? I think it could be as simple as you like permanently put her in a permanent vegetative state or kill her, right? Like it could be something like that too. It could really go sideways. And with that, oh, go ahead, Asta.
Maybe you attune her to a different place, not the dream or here.
That would be fun too. I'm into all this. And yes, whoever put that in the chat, capital R risky, this roll will be. Yes, it will. Let's talk about, so you're getting your light die for the skill. Let's talk about your devil's bargain light die. I really like the spider thing as a devil's bargain. I think I'm gonna steal that from Arthur.
Can you remind me the fate of her husband? Was he killed in a fight with the cultists?
Yes, and she admitted to having in the middle. No, it wasn't with the cultists. It was with the Blapes, and she admitted to saving her, like sacrificing him to save herself. Remember, she like kind of like kicked him toward them in order to save herself. That was her big reveal.
So, I don't know if this is a great devil's bargain, but something to the extent of her husband's spirit is guiding a Blape on a revenge path or something.
I like that. That's interesting. That's a very weird outcome, but I'm into it.
I had another idea, if you'd like. Part of Editha's consciousness could transfer to Ethelinda, meaning that while Editha's body would be in a vegetative state, some parts of her would subsist.
Oh, in Ethelinda. That's
inside
pretty cool.
Ethelinda.
Yeah, that's a cool one too. Drew, do you have an offer?
I was thinking just maybe we all have a moment where we're seeing her dream and whatever that means for us.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. Those are all great choices, Fraser. Whatever you think.
Yeah, I like the idea of her subsisting in me somehow, but it also it kind of like implies failure right away though too, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, so you would have brought her back, just so that would be success, but just not in the form that you think. I think it stands as a succeed or fail condition. just a slightly different kind of succeed.
Right. Okay, well, I like that the most. So I'll go with that. Yeah.
Okay, so on the
We've
die
had-
roller, do / risk, just risk 2 for now. I don't think you're necessarily doing the dark die yet.
4. I'll push it.
Okay, go ahead.
So risk
2-1.
2-1.
Hey, there you go. Full success. Your ruin does go up, though. I think the ruin explanation is probably most easily explained by the fact that part of Editha is in you now, right?
Yes.
Do give us the fiction, though. What does it look like?
I really like the tuning fork idea, so I think I have some sort of let's see. Oh, I use the hourglass is what I use. I have an hourglass, and I sort of like pour some of my essence into that, and then put my hand onto her, and then start chanting. My eyes go, patent pending white. And I think maybe there's like a visual hue that is being attained, like maybe the hourglass is cyan and her aura turns cyan as well, and then that's how we know it's like succeeded.
Nice. I'm going to give you the condition. I'm going to give you the condition. I don't think possessed is the right word. Maybe like
Inhabited
by Editha. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Put that as the condition. And let's do a little conditions recap as well. We should have done that with our housekeeping. I'm curious what conditions folks have right now. Going down the line here, Scum, what conditions do you have?
Just one. Scum is enmeshed from the frost lace.
Awesome. Korkulek, by looking at your character sheet, looks like you have a million things. What's going
Yeah,
on?
I am a walking bag of conditions.
What are they?
I am also enmeshed from the lace from the Rime Palace, and then an old one I shared breath with a bear. Still have the birthing dream held over from history.
I don't know how that's going to come into play again, but I'll be excited to see it if it does.
And in love with Patience Davies, the sister of Temperance Davies.
Right.
One of my wrists is sort of spider web threaded when she helped repair it, and then parts of my body are rewinding and fast forwarding constantly.
I'm gonna put that on you to role play all those things, because I don't think I can remember them all. So that's for you. You have quite a few as well, Asta. What are your conditions?
I have enmeshed from the lace. I have long-term blood tainted by old Caldur, and I've been marked by a bear spirit, and I cannot tell a lie.
Indeed, indeed. I think marked by a bear spirit is cleared if you want it to be because of what you all did to that skeletal creature back. Like, is that thing coming back, or is it gone permanently? I can't remember.
I think I took marked as the devil's bargain instead of it coming back.
Oh, that was the devil's bargain. It was marked. Okay, good.
So,
Never mind. Then don't clear it. Awesome. Thank you. And what do you have, Ethelinda?
I have a few. I have drained, enmeshed, delicious, and inhabited.
Very good. Thank you. I love it. Well, so I think the way this looks on screen, we'll talk about Editha later, or in terms of the inhabited condition, but in terms of her body, I think this is one of those things where she's clearly stabilized, and she might even be conscious, but she is going to seem a little distracted or distant. I mean, whether she'll be useful or not is unclear, but she should be able to get around at least, right?
Hey, Editha, can I see your crossbow for a minute? You shouldn't be armed.
Yeah, exactly, right, yeah. So I like all that. That's great. So we have a little moment here. There are these 4 masks that you have. These masks are they're like masquerade style masks, right? They're like porcelain or gold, and they're very like ornately decorated. And in particular, if you put these masks on, the mask will change to reflect something about one of the things you admitted on Ardkin, like one of the secrets, right? Or just some other secret that maybe you haven't spoken aloud yet. I would like to know if and when you put your mask on, what that is. Like, how does the mask reflect that? How do you look? And yeah. So as a reminder, there's this like gossamery sort of curtain that's sort of covering up a passageway. You can just kind of push it aside and continue on. It's the only way to go in the Hall of Games, unless you want to go back down to the spider pit. So, Asta, what do you do?
I think he'll kind of take the step forward and pull aside the curtain, peeking through.
When you peek through, you see more passages like the ones that you saw when you were navigating initially in the palace. So.
Then I think he'd put his mask on and turn back to the others. And his mask is, I think it's very reminiscent of a bear skull. And it has like an ornate kind of encrusted blood stains all around the mouth.
I like it. And that will be the permanent look of the mask if you want to put it in your found equipment. Scum, what about you?
Scum lets out a little sigh as he sees Osto's mask changing, knowing what awaits him. And he puts his own mask over his eyes, and the mask changes into, there's like a hollowing at the center of the mask that resembles the mouth of a hungry child.
Nice. Korkulak, what do you do?
As I don my mask, stepping through this curtain, a red handprint sort of forms into the clay as though it's soft still, but that handprint starts to weep blood. It's Mashiko's handprint that is there, kind of almost like she gave me a final slap as I murdered her. And then a couple of sort of gray human hair tendrils kind of like curl and drift down. So there's a few little strands of human hair hanging from the edge.
Nice. Ethelinda, what do you do?
Sorry, my internet was down for a bit, so I missed a bunch of that.
Oh, that's okay. So basically what I'm asking you all to do is, if you wish to proceed, and if you wish to be wearing your mask when you proceed, the mask will change to somehow reflect one of your dark secrets, either something you told us on the ship or something else. And I just want to know, like, if you put the mask on, and if you do, how does the mask change?
Oh, I think when I put it on, it begins like it looks like the visage of a very young woman, but as I put it on, it crumbles away, and it becomes like lined and leathered and stuff like that. And I think there's like a blue tint with a like a single tear that goes down.
Nice, I like it. So are we proceeding down the passageway to the next place?
Question, do we have a mask for Aditha?
Oh, what a good question. I hadn't thought of that. Sure. And I want to know, since you asked the question, when Aditha puts her mask on, how does it instead reflect her time with the crystalline dream spiders? maybe she had the mask on her. The spiders like put it there or something, right?
That's interesting. Yeah. I'm picturing something that looks almost like glass lace, sort of coming out, almost like ridiculously long eyelash extensions, but running in all directions.
I love it, like spider legs. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool. Editha doesn't have much to say. She's very, I think like when you tell her like, oh, do you have a mask or is there, what about Editha? She just finds it and puts it on and just presses forward, whether you all are not, she presses forward. The tunnels are very much like I described previously. They are icy. They have a faint sort of bluish glow in places. Other times they sort of twinkle. The walls twinkle like starlight. And the passages twist and turn, always kind of gently going downward. And you get split up from time to time, but you kind of reform back up. And ultimately, they lead to the next set, which is called the Masquerade Garden. And the Masquerade Garden has the set goal: unlock the stairs to the Rime Throne. I shall type that for you.
Can someone remind me what are we looking for precisely, if anything, or are we just going to the Rime Palace because it sounds
searching for treasure?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
No, just making sure.
Yeah. There was also like the suggestion that maybe you were trying to find some of the people from Fort Durin who also responded to these rumors and never came back, right? So, but you haven't run into anyone yet. So. It's also really unclear how you're getting back. This is another like big open question. Unlock the stairs to the Rime Throne. Let's talk about the Masquerade Garden. It is a vast, wintry garden. In the center of it, there is a marble, almost like a dance floor, and surrounding the dance floor are these frost-dusted topiaries, like plant, sculptures depicting romantic embraces between humanoid creatures of many sorts, a faun embracing a woman or a man embracing a mermaid, that kind of thing, right? There are roses with mirror-like petals blooming at the bases of these topiaries. And when you look above, you see what appears to be a sky lit by multiple unfamiliar moons. So there's the dance floor, there's the topiaries around that, and then around that, in the rest of the garden, there are these creatures stalking around. They are, I suppose the best way to describe them is they're like a patch of deep night, twinkling with stars, but moving about on all fours in a sort of wolf-like shape. And they're just sort of like skulking about. And on the dance floor, there are these flickering wisps of light just kind of bouncing around on the dance floor. There's also a topiary among the topiaries that is the most notable. It is a single being rather than a couple, and it sort of towers over all the rest. It appears to be like a king of some sort. There's a vague crown shape with his arms outstretched. And so I guess at this point, I would just ask, Korkuluk, what do you do?
Can you give me a rough sense of quantity of wisp-like creatures dancing? Are we talking like 2 or 20 or 200?
Do a hunt roll.
Ah, all right.
What do you think about in terms of skills or equipment, if any?
Yeah, looking at that.
Obfuscation, possibly.
I was going to say, yeah, obfuscation seems relevant.
Because these are things that seem kind of like it's unclear, like how many there are, kind of what's going on, what they are. Anyway, hunt 2.
Ooh, no good. 3 and 1.
I think you approach the dance floor, and as you approach, you'll notice that like there are some wisps that appear, some that disappear. Sometimes there's a lot of them, sometimes there's just a few of them. It's not totally clear exactly how many. It seems to be variable. And I assume you haven't actually stepped out onto the dance floor yet. You can kind of get up close between the topiaries to sort of check it out. But at some point, while you're doing that, one of the strange sort of starlight wolf creatures approaches you, and it speaks with a voice that sounds like multiple voices. Like imagine like multiple voices stacked on top of each other, right? If you've played Hades, the chaos god, like the way that god sounds with the multiple layers, it's like that, like voices on voices speaking in one voice, right? And it says to you, I am the end of time, but the beginning of everything. What am I? Meanwhile, Osto, what are you doing?
I think Osto recovers from his minor breakdown upon seeing all the moons above, and kind of looks around, noting the topiary with a little bit of concern, because last time he bumped into a topiary, it didn't go well.
We have that on the bestiary too, don't we? That type of topiary, that creature. What do we call it? Oh, a Geno's Hound. That was the stone one. What was the topiary one?
Grudge Hedge.
Ah, indeed. So it's not clear whether this is one of those or not, but I understand your hesitance for sure, Osto. So what do you do?
I think he'll wander around the topiary and see if anything stands out about the kingly one.
Yeah, do a hunt roll.
Don't think I have anything to help with that. A 4.
Take your token. The thing that you notice about that topiary is, unlike the others, it doesn't seem to be well kept. Much of the lower body of the topiary is overgrown with glassy thorns, as if the mirror roses on this particular topiary are not well tended, right? The rest are like very clean and well tended, and the roses are like very neat, like around the base, but not this one. Scum, what do you do?
Scum is very, very interested in the topiary representing a couple, including a mermaid, and he's going to try and crawl towards it without attracting attention to maybe see if the face of the person facing the mermaid is a known person.
You can do a hunt roll. What do you think about for skills?
No, don't say anything that would help me in that situation.
Go ahead and roll.
That's a 6.
Take your token.
Can I spend it to pick up a crystal rose as I?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think. Let me see if those actually are a good treasure, because they might just like break apart. So I don't know about the rose, but I can do you one better though. There is, if you spend the token, you'll notice in the center of one of the figures, perhaps the one that's not the mermaid, there is what appears to be like a crystalline heart, just kind of inside, about the size of about your fist, right? Maybe someone else's fist, maybe not your fist. And it can be retrieved easily. The features of that particular topiary, though, it's not that detailed. You can't really make anything out. So. Ethelinda, what are you doing?
Is there a opportunity to clear my drained condition?
How so? What would you do if you can give me a good reason for it?
I was thinking perhaps my numbing herbs.
Oh, yeah, I like that. If you can just be doing that as a general matter, I don't need a roll or anything. You could just clear it with those.
Excellent. Okay, then.
If you use your numbing herbs.
Yeah, I marked a use of it.
Okay. Yeah.
And then if that's not a roll, then I'd be looking for some place where the path less traveled, like wherever it seems nobody else has gone. I would be looking there.
Hunt roll.
I'm not sure if I have anything to help me with that either. We're good at min-maxing in this group. Yeah, I don't think my words help me here.
I think so.
So then I just roll.
Unless you have a piece of equipment in your pack that you want to dig around in and try to find, but.
Nah, I'll just go. I don't have a token anyway.
Okay, so there's no danger.
Yeah, I have a 5.
All right, you have a token now. Are you just sort of generally walking around looking?
Yeah, and trying to, my assumption is that there might be something interesting here that is being obfuscated, like people are dancing around or something like that, something hidden.
I don't think you notice anything apart from what I've already described. You do get your token though, but one of the strange sort of midnight starlight wolf creatures approaches you and speaks with that same multi-layered voice and says, I can be broken, but not repaired, golden, but not silver, pregnant, but not with child. What am I? Meanwhile, back to Korkaluk. I'll remind you, it said, I'm the end of time, but the beginning of everything. What am I?
I do a little tip of my colander helmet and say, I'm very pleased to meet you, letter E.
The creature stalks off and says, please enjoy the dance. What do you do?
I guess I'll step onto the dance floor and see what happens.
You step onto the dance floor. Let's take a 2-minute break and we'll pick up with that. You step onto the dance floor and everything changes. The flickering wisps sort of resolve into gorgeous, glittering nobles, Rime Court nobles, we'll say, frolicking and trading witty remarks. They are semi-solid, semi-translucent lords and ladies, all very tall, all very pale, all very gorgeous, as best you can tell behind their masks. They have elegant branching antlers, all of them, coming out of their heads. They wear gossamer gowns, calfskin gloves. They have ceramic swords on their hips and birch armor, or beautiful velvet gowns, some combination. Lots of glittering pieces of crystalline jewelry here and there. There's chattering. Did you hear about Sir Quest? Quite the charmer, isn't he? And yet the Lady of Lauds refused him her favor. What could she have been thinking? What could she have known? And another one. One doesn't meet a dancer like you every century, my dear. Do stay and share a glass with me. Some nostalgia, perhaps. Yes, yes, that sounds wonderful. They're just carrying on, going on. What do you do, Corkalook?
One second here, I'm looking at something on my character sheet. I'm let's get gossipy about the painter Agino.
Interesting, yeah.
Say, just to whomever seems by the way they are dressed, perhaps the most artistically inclined or interested in discussing art, if somebody's got like a beautiful cameo or something, I can say, oh, your cameo is stunning. It reminds me of a painting by Agino that I own.
And this Rime Court Noble will, I think it's probably a lady, we'll say, a Rime Court lady. She says, oh, thank you. You are very, very generous with your words. Reminds you of who?
Agino, a painter. I assumed the people in this realm had heard of him. His work really does span beyond any single plane of existence.
People of this realm, are you from a different realm? Your mask would suggest that you are from here, friend.
Oh, I misunderstood. I was looking at your mask. I assumed you were from another realm. I'm so sorry. Please forgive.
She says, well, all is forgiven. I have heard the name Agino, but I'm afraid I'm not very wise in the ways of the fine arts. Unless you include dance. And then she takes your hand to give you a spin.
Given that I'm kind of phasing in and out of time a little bit, I'm going to be either a really amazing dancer or the worst dancer the world has ever seen.
Let's go to Osto. Osto, upon Corkalook stepping on the dance floor, you don't see him anymore. You just see the wisps. But you did see a wisp appear where Corkalook was. What do you do?
I think he'd go to the dance floor or go toward it, see if Corkalook's in trouble.
Do you step onto it?
Yeah, I think he would.
It's as I described. You see various Rime Court nobles. You see Corkalook perhaps dancing awkwardly with a Rime Court lady. It's unclear exactly how that's going. And I think a Rime Court nobleman approaches you. He is wearing beautiful birch armor dyed in shades of purple and gold. And his antlers are also decorated in similar colors. And he says, my, I don't think I've seen you here before. I didn't know they made folk like us as big as you.
I'm new. And as soon as he says it, he covers his mouth like, that was not what I meant to say.
So awkward. I'm new. It's like your first day at school. Good. I love it. He says, well, since you're here, do you care to dance?
No. No.
No, you don't care to
No.
dance? Splendid. And he says, are you sure?
No.
No as in yes. No as in maybe. I do like that you are giving chase here. It'd be quite rude to refuse me.
Yes.
Yes.
I know.
Good.
Yes.
We like yes. Come. And he puts his hand out and takes yours.
Can I change a couple hunt tokens into gold before something terrible happens?
You may. How many treasures?
Two, please.
How many?
2.
I shall give you a treasure worth 2 gold in that case. He says, look, I don't want you to think that I'm unkind, and I certainly can see that you're a little nervous. I mean, you are new after all. Here, this will help you fit in. And he puts a crystal ring on your finger. Perfectly sized, as it turns out. And says, we all wear these here.
That is, wow, very generous. Thank you.
It's magical.
It looks expensive.
Well, if we cared about such things here, I suppose it would be. But it is a very interesting thing. It helps you with your illusion work.
Oh, that won't be very useful for me, but I appreciate it.
Oh, you're a man of mystery, aren't you? And he
Not really.
pulls you out to the dance floor. Ethelinda, the Starlight Lupine being, has asked you a question.
I say silence.
It says nothing and walks on. What do you do?
Does it? It doesn't. Like, is there a way to figure out if that was good or bad interaction?
The question is, what am I? You said silence. It said nothing and walked on.
I guess it's better than being attacked. And then as I look around, I guess two people are gone.
Yes. Editha is also stepped onto the dance floor.
Oh.
3.
I
So
see.
it's you and Scum.
And Scum is interacting with something?
You could go be with Scum right now if you want. Yeah.
Sure, I'll go pair up as we seem to be disappearing. The buddy system.
Remind us what you were doing, Scum. You were
I was
searching topiaries, right?
Yeah, Scum was looking at the mermaid topiary and seeing as the face of the man in front of the mermaid just doesn't ring a bell or just isn't intricate enough to make out the details of it. He just went ahead and picked out the crystalline heart, just pocketed it and turned back to see that, yeah, the rest of the party is mostly gone and it's just Ethelinda and him now.
I think from now on we should stick together.
Well, everybody seems to be, perhaps
Gone?
we should. Oh, I meant dancing. Not that I care for it.
Oh, you don't know that because you haven't stepped into the dance floor yet.
Oh, we don't actually see them dancing.
No, they
Oh,
just
right.
disappeared.
Yeah. We just see the wisps, right?
Yeah.
Yes, maybe they're. I don't know. I have no idea where they could have gone. Maybe they're hiding behind the topiaries.
I think that's a wonderful idea. We should definitely stick together, the 3 of us. And the siren is there.
You again? What do you want now?
Be silent, little one.
I'm not giving you my blood.
It's a very amusing creature, isn't it, Ethelinda?
Oh yes, we're all very interesting. I suppose that's why you keep hanging around.
If you knew the company that I keep in my other existence, you would understand why I'm here right now. Let's just say others of my species aren't as beautiful or as good a conversationalist as I am. They rather just like to sink their fangs into guts and crack open rib cages. That's more their style. I mean, I enjoy those things too, mind you, but I like to have a bit of, a bit of flair for this sort of thing.
Everything in moderation.
I don't know if moderation is the word I'd go for, but I do like to have a certain aesthetic restraint, and I think that's important.
And what would you do if things became, say, boring?
I'd probably eat you.
I see. Well, I hope our lives are as interesting as they have been since you've arrived then. And I make eyes at Scum like
It looks like your friends are having a wonderful time on the dance floor. I mean, look at them go. Even the puppet, look at him go. Not too sure about the woman. She seems to be kind of scaring everyone away, frankly.
you can see our friends?
Yes.
Where are they?
They're on the dance floor. Come on, let's join them.
And I'll follow.
You too, creature. Come along.
Scum will follow also, just more, maybe a little more reluctantly.
And it's as described.
Oh, sorry. Do other people see the siren or make signs that they might? Or?
I'm going to leave that unclear for now. You can't tell. They're not talking to him, so maybe not. He's also not wearing any clothing. He's not dressed, or a mask. He's not dressed for the occasion at all. So, how is the dance going, Korgaluk?
I feel like I'm getting the hang of this. I've got skill in mimicry. Like I'm kind of, were I dancing solo, I could be in great trouble. But with all these great people to observe and emulate their actions, these sort of fairy folk, I can learn to jitterbug with the best of them.
Asta, how's it going?
I think he's starting to realize that his intention with words is not what's coming out. So he's probably trying to stay as quiet as he can while just going along and doing a lot of polite nodding. And
he says, so tell me, friend, where are you from?
Fort Durin.
I don't know it. It sounds stoic.
Very stoic and kind of smelly.
Oh, that explains a lot. Well, how did you happen to come here?
A boat.
Oh, a boat. Very intriguing. Well, what do you think so far?
It's cold and scary. And I'm looking forward to going home.
You don't have anything to be scared of, friend. Nothing at all. And he sort of like leans in and whispers in your ear, have you had a chance to speak to your brother yet?
Osto pretty much trips on his feet and says, "My brother's here."
In a way,
I am very concerned that you know about my brother at all.
he is dreaming as we stand here now. And his dreams are reaching out into this place.
Where can I find him?
Let's just dance. Ethelinda, a Rime Court lady approaches you and she says, my, look at you. You seem a bit, oh, I don't want to be too offensive, old. How are you managing to be here right now, Crone?
Well, I may look old, but I'm young in years, I assure you.
Oh, young at heart. Splendid. I mean, by the look of your hands and by the look of your mask, you must be at least 4,000 or 5,000 years old. Incredible.
Oh yes, I'm very, very old and wise, but hanging in there. You look ravishing.
That's just how I look, but the siren says, you should do everything in your power to socially destroy her.
And I whisper back, I'm not sure what that means.
Use your imagination. Scum, what are you doing?
Did I hear what the siren just told Ethelinda?
Yes.
For the moment, Scum is hanging in the background just a little bit, trying to make sense of the dance and the siren and what the siren just said. And although he doesn't trust the siren that much, I think he doesn't trust the dancers even more. So he'll try to find a partner for himself and do as the siren said.
Very good, very good. You can do a hunt roll.
That's a 4.
Oh, very good. You get a token. Something crumbles from the ceiling and falls onto the dance floor and shatters. If you look up, it's a bit of plaster. The sort of night sky above is just a sort of illusion on the paint. And underneath it, you just see ceiling. You said you were looking for a dance partner?
That's right.
I think someone find you. It is a Rime Court child. We'll say a boy, little nubbin antlers. And he says, oh, I didn't think there'd be somebody as young as me here. My parents thought it was ridiculous that someone who's only 300 years old would want to come to something like this, but here we are.
And yes, indeed, here we are, 300 years old and all that. Would you care for a dance? I'm not very good, mind you.
And he takes your hand, and you can dance. Everyone's engaged in dancing except Ethelinda and the siren at this point. Ethelinda, what do you do right now at this point, after having been urged by the siren to destroy this haughty woman who's being ageist against you.
Yeah. I tried to maneuver her into a dance, but I also want to have the musk of a deer on me. And I want to apply that to her dress from behind.
Good. That's good. I'm
So
very
that
here for
she's quite
this.
smelly.
That's a fabulous risk roll. I love it. What could go wrong, gang?
It turns out that the musk of a deer is actually like perfume to the Fae.
Oh, so they love it. It reminds them of their country cousins or something, right? Yeah, that's good.
You could
Brian or Arthur?
fill the entire vial of this on the dance floor and just make a slick that sends everybody scattering.
Yeah, I like that. Arthur, any thoughts?
I don't have anything.
I don't think I do either. So those are both pretty good options. You got one light die for using the musk. Devil's bargains. No matter what, the siren straight up eats her right here on the dance floor.
All right. I was also going to involve the siren, but I don't know that it just thinks that you're even more delicious because you got some musk on your fingers, or if it's just absolutely revolted by you and turns on you in sort of because you were delicious and now you smell like deer, gross sort of revulsion.
More of the ceiling could crumble down and perhaps knock someone out.
The musk attracts the night wolves.
Interesting. Those are all interesting options. What do you think, Atalanta?
I think I like the idea of the siren eating her.
It's intense. It's good. We'll go with it. I think you're just at 2 light dice for now. I don't think you're quite risking mind or body to do a dark die yet.
Oh, excellent.
Mixed result. I'll tell you what the complication is. The complication is going with the devil's bargain. The siren's gonna I think the siren is gonna be kind of subtle about what he was gonna do before, but he will not be. It's gonna be very bloody and intense and right now. So unless you want to add a dark die to avoid that.
Yeah, I suppose I should. I like the idea as a player, but 2, 1. Oh,
Same result. The dark is not high. You can add another dark die and try again.
let's do it. Aha!
There you go. Your ruin goes up, but you are otherwise in good shape. I think the ruin increase is probably coming from the fact that I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's have the scene first. So describe how you pull this off. What does this look like? And how does it ruin her?
Yeah. So I maneuver her I imagine she goes in to try to speak more things that I wish she wouldn't. So I just sort of grab her hands and go flying onto a dance. And maybe there's those, I don't know what the dancing's like, but maybe it's like those English ones where at one point you're only one hand in hand. And every time it goes like that, I'd reach into my pockets and grab the musk. And when I come back, I have a smear of it on my hand and I rub it down the back. And yeah, I think how it ruins her is actually I am not the greatest dancer. And so one of the times when we come together, it's a little too forceful, and she rubs up against somebody else, and they sort of shriek as the slime goes across them as well, and that's what causes the hubbub.
Indeed, and she's mortified by all of this, and she pulls away, and just out of the corner of your eye, because she's being shunned by everyone, you do see the siren walking up to her and says, "Can I have this dance?" and whisks her away to somewhere else on the dance floor. So there's dancing, there's chatting, there's gossiping, there's rumor mongering. Before I proceed to the next part, is there anything else that you want to do, Asta, while you're in the middle of just sort of this party?
I think, can he ask his dance partner's name?
Yes. He says, "Ah, how silly of me. My name is Sir Quest. And what is your name?"
Osto.
Lord Osto. What a terrific name. A bit earthy, simple, but simplicity is good. Certainly not as dashing and fascinating as Sir Quest.
That's true.
Yes. And indeed. So then what, after you've exchanged pleasantries?
Is there something I could give you for information on speaking to my brother?
He says, "I suspect you're going to have to go to the Rime throne. That's where all the really fascinating things in this palace take place."
I'm scared that I will die there.
No, why would you die? We're fabulous hosts.
It's almost happened quite a few times, actually.
Your fascination with death and your, frankly, overwhelming sense of self-preservation is very intriguing, Lord Osto.
I do like not being dead.
I've deduced this. He calls over to Dame Spar. Shall we have this dance? And he separates himself from you to go dance with Dame Spar. Korkuluk, anything you want to do before we kind of go to the next part of the dance?
I wouldn't mind kind of eyeballing up any potential treasure which is not nailed down, that I can kind of abscond with.
Indeed. I like that. You get something for free if you spend a token. Otherwise, you can do a hunt roll.
I have no token to spend, I believe, so.
Have a hunt roll. Do a hunt roll and you can spend it then if you get one. Get a token.
All right. Quick check of skills. Does artifacts allow me any sort of knowledge of what's more valuable than others?
Especially if there's like a sense that like something might be magical here, right?
Oh, no. 3 again.
You encounter something terrible. As you are being led, kind of waltzing into a corner of the ballroom, you see in the corner a very beautiful, naked young man, no horns on his head, absolutely fucking devouring one of the Rime Court ladies. He has her rib cage split open and he's just going fucking ham on the guts and the organs and just fucking covered in blood. And your dance partner says, who's not facing it, says, what are you looking at? You seem to have seen something alarming.
This is definitely a great moment to kind of do that, like, like, dramatic sort of swish the arm around the waist and right back into the audience, but try and aim myself a little towards Ethelinda.
Sure. Yeah. I think that's fair. Bear in mind, you've never seen the siren before, right? Like you have no knowledge of the siren.
Yeah.
You have no...
Right. Good point. That doesn't make sense to go towards Ethelinda. Definitely heard Ethelinda even speak about the siren. Let's try and whisk this my dance partner away towards the unique topiary that looked a little more royal.
Oh, the king, the one that's overgrown with crystal and thorns. Yeah, you can maneuver in that area. I don't need a roll or anything. I just like that as a scene. I think that's perfectly good.
I will try and go for some conversation about that, just because I don't think we even know the name of this king yet, and so I'm going to try and elicit that or suss that out to be like, oh, the beautiful topiary, it depicts. Who do you think?
She says, and she actually climbs up a little bit. She goes, oh, we don't talk about that here.
Oh, I know, but people talk.
Do a hunt roll.
All right. Don't know if I. I don't know. Does obfuscation come into this at all or not?
I don't think so.
All right. Oh, 6.
You get your token, and she says, we don't talk about that. And I suggest very strongly you don't bring it up ever again.
Prudent advice. Thank you. I suppose we also don't talk about the reason that the stairs are kept locked, do we?
What stairs?
Oh, the stairs to heaven. And I point at the cracks in the plaster ceiling.
She says, here, stairs only go down.
Would you like a glass of something to drink?
Oh, yes. I saw someone with a tray of nostalgia earlier. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Scum, what are you up to right now before we press forward to the next sequence here?
Osto and Ethelinda are veering away from the dance floor then.
Say that again? What?
Osto and Ethelinda are leaving the dance floor, just to make sure.
I mean, I just think that Ethelinda and the siren were, I don't know what they were doing. I can't remember. They were like, you put musk on the Rime Court lady, and then Osto, you just weren't dancing anymore, but you're still there, right?
Standing there awkwardly.
Yeah, exactly. They're all still on the dance floor there.
Okay. Then Scum will be trying to embarrass the child by trying to outdance him in the sense that he's going to try to show everyone that his place is not here. He's just a 300-year-old child and he has no business being here.
Well, it's funny you mention it because there's actually a special die roll on this incursion called the dance roll. Treasure hunters can attempt a dance roll to move gracefully through the throng of nobles and win boons from them. This roll is similar to the combat roll, with players rolling weak points and saying how they put their characters at risk of making a social faux pas or taking physical damage as they navigate the dance floor. The dance roll must overcome not the noble's endurance, but their social grace score. When the treasure hunters succeed in overcoming those social graces, they may each claim a boon from a dance partner. Armor can absorb ruin during the dance roll as long as the player explains how the marked off piece of armor could shield them from social ruin. Your mask can also be marked off to absorb ruin on this roll, but if you do this, the mask will permanently cease to function as soon as you leave the dance floor. If you choose to step out of the dance roll, you have to give your weak point to another player as usual, which could affect them on their dance roll. And of course, explain how your hasty departure from the dance brings unwelcome scrutiny on another treasure hunter. So it's a modified combat roll for dance. And if you're trying to battle this child Rime Court Nobles social graces, you're lucky that he doesn't have as many because he's so young. It's only 6. So do you wish to do dance roll?
Absolutely.
Roll your weak point. Describe how you are vulnerable right now in the dance.
I think the scum would maybe bump into some other of the guests while trying to dance, and that's how it'd be socially weak.
Very good. So go ahead and roll a combat 1.
1. Oh, yeah.
Oh, your weak point's 1, sorry. And what's your roll? 3.
Combat is 3, yeah.
Not enough to defeat him yet, but do describe, just give me the scene in the beginning. How's it starting?
Scum is focused on moving his feet the right way while the child is trying to have a conversation, and neither of them is really interested in what the other is doing. And I think the rest of the dancer are sort of giving them space to do their own thing because they're so young.
Very good, very good. Yeah. Anybody else want to engage the dance roll? You can also, as noted in the chat, if you want to try to do a group dance roll to take out a particular group and their social graces, their score is higher, but you get to benefit from all of your dice if you wish. You may do that.
B-boy dance-off.
What'd you say?
A B-boy dance-off.
Yeah, maybe not that, but I do like the idea of a Virginia reel or the equivalent here.
Is
so-
Korkuluk still dancing?
Yeah, I'm still dancing. Well,
You're still
kind of.
dancing. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
You were sort of like
Just for a little
Yeah.
aperitif or whatever.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm still dancing. Asto, you are, right?
No.
Oh, you're not. Am I
Yeah.
the only one still dancing?
I think you are. Ethelinda was never dancing. Ethelinda's just caused somebody to get murdered and eaten.
Right. But Scum has not yet been successful on gaining the boons from the child.
No, not yet. No, he's got another round to go, at least.
How about this as narrative? I do that thing where you kind of grab a couple of glasses between your fingers,
Yeah.
and come over to Scum and this child with a couple glasses of nostalgia for them as well, and hand these out, and then try and engage in a group dance with my partner and this child to try and let Scum and I
you
sort
sort
of
of take their hands and do a little like reel or something. Is that the idea, or like a?
Yeah. And with a merry little champagne flute of nostalgia in our hand or something.
I like that. We'll talk about nostalgia too. We haven't really talked about that yet.
Yeah, Farndor. Yeah.
I love it. Let's do this. Just go ahead and do the second roll. So now it'll be 3 dice, Scum, because you get 1 from Korkuluk plus 1 for the other round. Korkuluk, you need to roll a weak point. How are you vulnerable right now?
So weak point of 1. How am I vulnerable? I've never ingested nostalgia before, so I don't know what this is going to do to my sort of non-human system. And I'm still kind of fading in and out of time, so I could drop glassware very easily, kind of causing that sort of social faux pas of like glass on the dance floor and
I like it. It's good. So we have 2 weak points of 1. So if a 1 comes up, that's going to be pretty bad. Go ahead and roll 3 combat dice, this gun. You did 5, 5, and 1. You did get a 1, so you're both going to take ruin unless you can mark it, unless you want to describe how your armor prevents you from causing the social faux pas. But you do defeat the boy. So let's keep it going. Describe how you win the dance, how you impress the boy or otherwise impress the crowd, but also the faux pas that you commit that causes your ruin to go up.
I think the faux pas is that I stop in the middle of the dance to have a drink, but thereafter, scum spirits are bolstered by the champagne, and he finds the precise tempo with which he can outdance the child.
Nice, I love it. That's great. And Korkluk, give us a little fiction too, because you're also doing the faux pas.
Yeah. I'm kind of getting into it, enjoying myself a little too much. Feel like I've got the hang of dancing with the fairy folk, and forget that my body is shifting a little bit out of time and place. And suddenly my hand, which had a grasp on that little crystalline flute, is just not there, and is off to the side, and it falls to the floor. And I've got that moment as I'm like turning away, I'm like, oh no, and it shatters, and then I just kind of freeze and kind of hang there, almost reverting to an inanimate mannequin form for a moment, which just is so out of place on a dance floor.
Scum, you get a round of applause from all the viewers, all the spectators, and the boy reaches underneath his shirt and pulls out a locket that looks like a little gold cage, like a gold bird cage. And he gives it to you, and he says, here, I want you to have this, a memento of my first time on the dance floor. It's my favorite breeze that blows in the southerly tower.
That's certainly a very unique gift. I thank you very much, young sir. I'll take good care of it.
And he bids you adieu. Ethelinda, the siren is approaching you, his footsteps audibly wet, absolutely fucking covered in gore and blood. I mean, just like Patrick Bateman, top to toe, naked and bloody. And he says, my dear, there's this fascinating couple, and I think that, well, I think they want to have a dance with us. I said I'd go find a partner.
So everybody else can see him.
No one's reacting to his appearance, at least. But it seems like he can be seen when he wants to be seen.
Interesting. Is there a way to see if, like, I could use the fact that he's covered in fey blood to my advantage? Like, is it magically able to be set on fire and kill him or something like that?
I mean, if you want to take a bold step like that, I think I am into that. If you want to do that, I'm cool with the description, especially if you have a ritual. If you have a ritual that could do it, maybe. But I don't know if you do though.
No, I have the illusion.
Yeah.
So unless he believes he's dead and then dies.
It might be a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
He does there's a couple that is intrigued by him, and they want to have the dance. Their combined social graces are 12, but they want to have the dance.
Okay, I'll do it.
You get a bonus die from the siren, but go ahead and roll your weak point.
Okay. In the thing, it doesn't really matter what I roll, I guess, right?
It has the number doesn't matter. It's arbitrary.
Oh, it says weak. I'll do that.
Forward slash. Oh yeah. Sorry, forward slash weak. Yeah. Okay, so your weak point's 3, and you have 2 combat dice with the siren. You need to get 12. go ahead and roll combat 2.
A 9.
A 9, but you did get a 3. That will bump your ruin up to 6 unless you mark armor. So.
Oh, and I need to. Oh wait, do I have armor?
You do.
The family heirloom.
Wolf-frocked coat. Yeah. You have to describe how the wolf-frocked coat prevents you from suffering a social faux pas during the dance.
Oh, perhaps like during the dance, I don't quite know the moves, but since my coat is quite long, when others look at me, they can't tell that I'm missing the steps.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's good. Go ahead and mark it. You're in bad shape though. If this goes to another round and you get another 3 on your roll, your character will be done for. You can abandon the dance and put your weak point on either, basically on Osto, because Osto hasn't done dance roll yet. So.
Interesting. And then
you can mark the mask as well. Oh, good point, Arthur. Thank you. You can also mark, you can go one more round because you can mark the mask as well to avoid the social faux pas.
Right. But it seems like I would need the mask later, potentially.
Yeah. Risk reward.
Indeed.
In a real pinch, could you use your illusion ritual to create another false mask if you lose your real mask? Risky because you can still botch that die roll. But.
It would be pretty risky, and I'm not sure. I think mechanically it's probably not within the bounds of what you can do in the game. I like it as a bit of fiction, though. I think your only shot at getting another round and not taking any damage is if you mark the mask. So if you're not willing to mark the mask, you need to bail or just risk it.
I think I will pass it to Osto. And also want to see what it's like for him to be dancing with the siren.
I'd like to take up the fiction if you don't mind. I think you're actually not able to keep up with them very well. And one of the Rime Court ladies that you're dancing with, the lady that you're dancing with, she says, you're just coming by and she just sees you, Osto, and she's like, here, let's switch somebody in. And they just sweep you up, Osto, and leave you behind, Ethelinda. Osto, you're standing there with a beautiful, naked, bloody man you've never met, 2 Rime Court nobles, and they're all dancing, and they want you to dance with them. What do you do?
And he can't lie.
That is true.
Wow. His eyes go wide, and he's by the sisters. And he looks around, and does anyone else react to the bloody?
No, no one's reacting in particular.
No. Yeah, he's going to start doing his best to dance, but the whole while he's just like, I really don't like it here. Really don't like it here.
You have to roll weak point. You'll have 2 weak points.
3 and 5.
And you have 2 dice from one from the siren. Combat 2.
5 and 2.
That is not enough, and you are going to take a hit. Describe the first part of the dance.
So he's kind of doing a stumbly kind of twirl with the siren, he's frankly looking for help. And every time he comes anywhere near someone, he's help.
Yeah, meanwhile, this is probably right when Scum and Korkaluk are doing do-si-do with a Rime Court child, and somewhere in that time frame.
I think I'll mark my gauntlets and maybe the light reflects off the seal and kind of distracts people from his faux pas.
Good. I like that. Do you wish to go a third round?
Sure.
Combat 3.
A 9, but 2 3s.
Yeah. But just keep going. Just give us more of the dance.
This time it's his breastplate that he kind of puts his back as he actually, like, I think he steps on the siren's foot because he's not paying much attention. He's in a panic, and he's doing his best to keep up, but he's still trying to figure out what's going on, why he's suddenly dancing.
You can bail out of the dance anytime you want. What? Do you want to go another round?
I still got that mask. I'll go one more round.
One more round. You're up to how many dice now? 4?
12.
Hey, you got it. And did not hit repoint either, did you? You impress them. What does it look like?
I think he just gets into it. Like he decides if this is what's happening, then I'm just gonna go with it. And he'll just tell the siren to hang on, and he'll shift Bear a little bit and just start twirling him like feet off the ground in an impressive show of strength and a little bit of grace.
I love it. And at the end, they take off their crystal rings and they say, "Here, you've earned this." And they press them into your hand. You now have 3 of these rings, but you do have them. And we'll take a 5-minute break. We'll come back. We're back. It occurs to me that they would have given one of the crystal rings to the siren as well. So if you're cool with it, I think it's probably just 1 crystal ring that you get from that endeavor.
Okay.
And the siren looks at you and says, "That was an impressive bit of footwork."
I didn't know I had it in me.
I suspect you have a lot of things inside you that would be very interesting to discover.
That's kind of what I'm afraid of, actually.
By discover, I mean putting inside my body.
Oh, this is not what I expected.
He disappears.
Is Ethelinda somewhere nearby?
You can all be together at this point.
I still would like to ask, what was that? Who was that? Why was I dancing?
Well, it wasn't so much my choice either. Basically there is a siren here who was called when I brought the ship, and now it thinks we're interesting. And I look meaningful at you and I say we should continue to be interesting for this creature. And at the time, they wanted to dance, and I wasn't doing so good. Thankfully, I was tagged out.
Yeah, thankfully.
You did a great job. I was watching and applauding.
Is he going to eat us?
I hope not.
Yeah.
Who drank the nostalgia?
Scum drank some, I think, when Korkuluk offered the glasses to the child and him.
Yes, and I also tried to, but I don't know how it works with my
I
mannequin.
don't think it affects you at all, Korkulek, but scum, when you drink it, it fills you with homesick memories. What does it make you miss?
Just to be sure, nostalgia is like the name of the drink.
That's the name of the drink, yeah.
Okay. I think it reminds me of my home from beyond the ocean. More specifically, of the time when when Scum was still just a goblin child, living with his father, and his thoughts go to the wintry nights he spent in his father's workshop, just sitting on a bench, watching his dad tinker with his tools and make crafty contraptions.
Fantastic, thank you. I want to remind you of the sequel. The sequel is to find the stairway to the Rime throne.
I'm all for spending tokens at this point if you guys would like to do that.
I'm up for that as well.
Yeah, I would be down for that. I only have 1 gold and need 3 burdens, but it seems like we have a bit to go.
Is there anything more we can try and loot from here before burning the hunt tokens to move on?
You can absolutely spend 1 just to get a treasure, but otherwise you would have to do hunt rolls to try to find something.
Which I am notoriously good at.
Could Osto find Sir Quest and ask about the stairway? Or the path, I guess?
Yeah, if you wanted to try to do it outside of spending hunt roll tokens, you can go find Sir Quest, sure. Especially now that you've like kind of proved yourself to everyone, right? What do you say?
Yeah, I think he'd scope him out on the dance floor and kind of maybe ask if he could cut in.
He says, my. Seems your disposition towards dancing has changed in the last few minutes here, friend.
I discovered I'm not half bad.
Indeed you are not, Lord Osto. Indeed you are not. I thought that your moves were daring, aggressive, desperate, but in the sort of way that makes you want to root for you, not pity you, and magnificent, all in all.
I like most of those words. But as much as I'd like to flirt with you, I came here for a reason.
What is it?
I need to get to the Rime throne.
Oh, that is a big ask indeed.
Is it?
Yes, a little bit. Yeah. We don't talk about the king very much.
That seems odd if he's the king.
He leans in. Rime Court Nobles are much more direct and literal than you might imagine. Everything here goes down. So you're looking for some stairs that go down to the throne where the king is.
I understand.
And in this room, there's a topiary shaped like a king, where they've allowed the base to get overgrown so that perhaps you don't look closely there.
I understand. Thank you, Sir Quest.
You are very welcome, Lord Osto. Please don't tell anyone that I told you this.
I will do my best.
So what do you do?
He'll, with again a little bit of grace, maybe do a bit of a twirl with Sir Quest before departing, because he's feeling his oats, and then walk over to where the others are and say, I think I know the way to the throne, and point at the statue. Or the topiary, not statue.
Well, let's go have a look then, shall we?
And I'll spend a token before we leave, perhaps, to get some monies.
Some sweet treasures.
Yes.
You find... Oh, I'm going to give you a really valuable treasure, but it's a pain in the ass treasure. It's worth 2, but it's a haughty but kind of stupid albino peacock that's just strutting around the place. Would fetch a very fabulous 2 gold sum of money to the right buyer. It has a leash, so.
Oh, I love it. Does he have a name? Does he parrot his name?
Like a Pokemon? No.
But I mean, like a real name or whatever.
Oh, I mean, it's just a peacock, but it's albino.
Mm.
What do? Do you just like walk up and take the ticket?
Yeah, perhaps a new song comes on and everyone like claps delightedly, and that is when I grab the leash and sort of lead it close. And I do this as though it is perfectly natural as I lead it up to the group.
A voice over your shoulder says, I'm sure you're going to want to roast it or fricassee it, but let me put in a word for just eating it raw.
A good thought, I say, and I blanch.
So, the topiary.
I think, Osto, given the fact that you've been dancing all evening and doing such a good job at it, the honor is yours.
I think Osto would use his warhammer to maybe knock away the thorns. And try and clear some of the overgrowth.
I think that's great. You can definitely do that. When you knock away the overgrowth, I don't need a hunt roll or anything. When you knock away the overgrowth, you can see like little imperfect gaps in the floor where the topiary can be pushed aside. Do you push it aside?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he shoves it aside, gets the hammer in there, and
It'll take a few of you. It's pretty heavy, but you're pushing it aside, and one of the twinkling starlight wolf shapes approaches you as you're doing this, and cocks its head to the side like dogs do, and then speaks with the same voice that sounds like dozens of voices in one. 2 arms, 2 legs, no heart, all hide. What am I?
no heart, all hide.
I see lots of puzzled looks.
The last part backwards. It was no hide or all hide?
It is 2 arms, 2 legs, no heart, all hide.
Taking the hide is hidden, out of sight, invisible.
Is anyone going to give an answer? Not so quick on this one. What do you say if you don't know the answer?
Oster just looks at the others and says, "Skip."
There's an awkward silence for a moment.
Just flash your fancy ring and be like, "Look, we're with the band."
Yeah.
Give me one moment. I need to get the exact behavior here. This is not a satisfactory answer. You are not from this place. You are interlopers. You have somehow managed to disguise yourselves as one of the Rime Court Nobles, but now your chicanery is revealed to all. There are others of these twilight wolf shapes, these starlight wolf shapes, gradually cordoning and circling. What do you do? All of you.
Let's link elbows, do a little dance, and then just thump through the hole in the ground. Just go.
Yeah, if you want to try to run, you can just try to, as best you can, try to shove the statue over and just bolt. But if you don't try to get away, you're going to fight them. So,
Scum,
Yeah.
can you do some germination and cover our path with the plants?
Yeah, why not? I like that idea. I like the idea of just pushing through, just giving each other a quick look of common understanding, and just going for it.
So you're going to you just germinate to like cause the plants
I'm gonna try to germinate the topiary to try and cover our escape.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. That's a risk roll. What could happen if it goes wrong, folks?
Wolf things descend.
Yeah, I fear that's probably what's going to happen.
We could grow too fast and block our own exit, forcing us to a round of combat.
Yeah, I think that's before, so you can hack it until you hack it away or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm going to go with you just have to combat them in some way. So.
And this may not be useful narratively, but all the topiary surrounding the dance floor germinates, not just this one.
That could be fun. That could be a good devil's bargain, actually. Let's take a look at dice, unless somebody has any thoughts on failure. Or any more thoughts? I don't know about skills. Do you have a piece of equipment that would be helpful here?
Not that I can think of, and I don't really want to open another slot at the moment, so I can always risk my mind or body.
Yeah, you're at 1 light die and 1 dark die for the ritual, so go ahead and roll it up. Or no, Devil's Bargain with 2 Devil's Bargains, huh? You're just at 1 dark die so far. Devil's Bargains. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I have a sort of a trophy question. Like, let's say somebody's backpack slots are all filled out. Can I open one of mine
and give them something? Yeah, absolutely.
Give them a thing. It depends on the action, obviously. Right.
Devil's Bargains. Anybody have an offer?
Don't come all at once.
Since Arthur loves riddles so much, there's one more riddle for him to escape.
Oh no. I'm gonna say my offer is I think my offer is that like you have to go around with them no matter what, Scum, while everybody else escapes, because you have to keep the magic going long enough. So you're essentially kind of like letting everybody escape, but you have to deal with the wolves for one round.
Maybe your mechanical wings, the membrane gets snagged on one of the thorns.
So you lose your mechanical wings. That's an offer. So you got 3 offers so far. Do you have one, Fraser?
No.
3 offers.
I give one other one. These beings, they kind of look like night sky. They seem sort of semi-substantial. That if one of them chomps onto your arm, you've got this arm that is sort of a void, like a starlit void that is less useful, impeding future whatever 2-handed activities.
Starlit void arm. That's pretty good.
I like them all. I obviously my preference goes to the riddle, but I think that depends on whether you have one stashed away for me. Jason.
I do.
Okay, then riddle it is. And I think
indeed.
for the narration, Scum would actually take a step forward and thrust out his chest. And where's my riddle? You haven't asked me anything.
Good. Let's get your dice on the table. You got 1 light, 1 dark. Go for it.
That's 4 light. And I think I'm going to keep it.
I am not seeing that. Where is that at?
Oh, sorry, I haven't done it in the correct channel. My mistake.
Where did it roll then?
4 light and 1 dark.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll again? Or?
No, it's fine. You get a complication. So yeah, I think the complication is the riddle is going to be asked of you while you're pinned to the ground. That's what's going to happen. If you're cool with that.
Yeah, I'm curious, so go ahead.
Start with the magic. What does the magic look like? How do you use the germinate to get everybody out of there?
Somewhat sneakily, before he steps forward, Scum reaches behind him and places his hand on the topiary's pedestal, and out of from under his fingernails, there are little green sprouts that come forward and bury themselves inside the topiary, so that they are going to take some time before they fully germinate, and that's when he steps forward and asks for his riddle.
And the creature, like, because you're so small, like puts his paw on your chest and like pins you down. The plants are growing all around. Everyone else is taking this opportunity to escape down a set of spiraling stairs beneath the topiary, I assume. And the riddle posed to you, O scum, it's a really hard one. Okay. I follow you wherever you go. Sometimes your friend and sometimes your foe. What am I? And this would be a great place to leave Scum, since we're not going to have Arthur next week.
Can you just repeat the first part?
I follow you wherever you go. Sometimes your friend, sometimes your foe. Let's cut away. Everybody else is running downstairs, going downstairs. The spiral staircase brings you down to what must be the lowest tip of the hanging palace. In fact, you see some crystalline walls are thin in places, so you can look outside and just see the starlit void, the gossamer void beneath. This is like the most teardrop, most lowest hanging, spiral or lowest hanging section, right? It's a shimmering but very cold room of ice and crystal, dominated by a massive throne. And around the throne is a ring of a half dozen still sentries, imposing and silent. The sentries are hulking figures, fully covered in icy armor, helmets crowned by imposing antlers. They wield a variety of weapons: bows, spears, axes, and clubs. And on the throne, wearing a crown of glass thorns, is your brother, Osto. Except he is in a bad way. His body is ravaged by his time in Barcelona prison. He's probably suffered unthinkable horrors while there. How does that affect the way he looks to you, Osto? How does he look different? How does he look broken?
He looks old, like he was the older brother already, but now the time between them looks so much larger. And I think Asta would think he looks very human.
Indeed. What do you do?
Osto just stops dead in his tracks at first, and I think he'd take off his mask.
What's everyone else doing? Ethelinda.
Do I see the person on the throne as well?
You do, but you don't recognize him. Just looks like a broken man,
I think
kind of just sitting there, like kind of twisted up and clenched,
but alive.
seemingly, and wearing this thorn of glass, this crown of glass thorns.
Interesting. I would like to.
Oh, let me tell you the set goal too. The Rime Throne. Set goal: shatter the palace by breaking the throne.
I think I approach, and I'd like to, as long as it appears safe, I'll sort of investigate the area, the throne, and what it looks, or what it. I'm curious what it is like made of and stuff like that.
Yeah, go ahead and do a hunt roll.
I don't think anything I have helps me do this. Doesn't seem like it. So it's just one roll, right?
Just one die. Yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah. Oh, 6.
You take your token. You see a few things. The first thing you notice is that behind the sentries, near the base of the throne, there are a number of treasures just kind of piled up there. Strange artifacts that you have no understanding of whatsoever. For example, one of them is like a box with 2 little windows and covered on the top with buttons. And another is a pile of very strangely bound books with seemingly shiny pages and an illustrations on the front that are like impossibly lifelike, and other things as well. You also notice, since you were asking about the throne, that there are very fine cracks running along the sides and back of it.
And as I get closer, does the person change in any way?
No, you can tell the sentries are watching you though. But as long as you don't try to walk past them, they seem to be fine with allowing you to walk around. Corklick, what are you doing?
A quick question about what Ethelinda was saying. Was the pile of artifacts around the throne or behind it? I missed that.
Like in the front of it, like around it, the base of it.
Okay.
But behind the sentries.
Okay. What's the ceiling look like? What's above the throne?
That's a great question. If you look above the throne, you will see what is essentially, it's very similar to what you saw in the Masquerade Garden. It's a sort of like image of a swirling galaxy above. And planets that you don't recognize.
All right. And I'm assuming the rest of us do not know what Osto's brother looks like to recognize the face.
No, only Osto recognizes him.
Right.
You could do a hunt roll though for asking about the ceiling.
Oh, okay.
See if you see anything else.
I don't know. Obfuscation, myths, either of those useful for an extra die?
Myths is good. Do myths. Yeah. This is a mythical place.
I can do nothing better than a 3 on my hunt rolls today.
That's a fail. You encounter something terrible. You will intuit that the objects around the base of the throne, and perhaps this is informed by your understanding of myth, and by seeing the image of worlds on the ceiling, the objects are not of your world. The materials are not of your world. You have like kind of a close connection to sort of like inorganic materials, and these feel foreign, right? And you have heard stories of places that exist between worlds.
Let me kind of genuflect to the royalty here, do the appropriate sort of bow and curtsy gestures, and say, Your Majesty, it's been aeons since we've seen you on the dance floor, and the courtiers have requested your presence.
Let's come back over to Scum. Scum, what do you do? You're being pinned down by this starlight wolf.
Yeah, he's trying to. He's wriggling his brains over the riddle, and having this shadowy beast pinning him down isn't really helping. But at long last, he'll just stutter out his response. My reputation.
It eases up and it looks towards the stairway, and it says, enjoy your time in oblivion.
Is that good or is that bad?
It feels like a good place to cut, actually. A little early, but the moment is very pregnant with tension. So we shall cut there. You do get to name these creatures, by the way, the Starlight Wolf creatures. You have earned the right to name them in the bestiary if you all want to come up with a name at some point. And yeah, let's do stars and wishes. Stars and wishes. Whoever wants to go first, go for it.
I love the riddles. I think it's pretty obvious from my reactions, but I love riddles in TTRPG sessions, and I really like those ones. I very much like to know the answer to the one we didn't get. If you'd like to tell us now or in the future.
It's armor. 2 legs, 2 arms, no heart, all hide. A suit of leather armor.
That's tough one. But yeah, I really like the riddles, and they were very interesting. I think we were all expecting the Starlight Wolves to be a more direct threat, and I think turning them into sphinxes sorts of creatures was very original.
That's all the incursion. I can't take credit for that. So, but it was fun.
Yeah, just saying the writing was good.
Any other stars or wishes?
It was great to see Osto break out of his shell and find himself on the dance floor. It is fun how this is the best part of role-playing games, is where the dice sort of force you into improvisational storytelling, and it worked out really well, I thought. Don't have a wish yet. Let me think on the wishes.
I really like the siren. Yeah, it's very fun having them around and causing problems, and making things tension ramping up and stuff. I have a pretty cool idea, I think, of how I want to get rid of the siren. My idea is that I want to attune them to the throne when we shatter it. So that sounds fun if I want to try to do that. So maybe
Okay,
that's
yeah,
a wish or something.
that'd be a good wish. Yeah, like to actually dispatch the siren that'd be a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the siren a lot too. That's probably one of my wishes. I like playing him, and I like the way he asserts himself in the scene, in a way that like disrupts the scene or the expectations of the scene. It's fun to play with. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, stars. I was going to say the siren and the way he just keeps popping up and changing the direction things were going in. It's fun and really weird, but in a cool way. And also Scum being so excited about the riddle was a highlight of the session for me.
I think for wishes, well, my star is I'm also really enjoying the siren. I loved the dance sequence. That was really fun. That whole like dance roll thing was really fun. I think it was more fun for me because I wasn't close to dying. Like everybody else was like about to be fucking dead, but like or ruined max. And so it was interesting that that is what pushed everybody to the line, you know, and it was like kind of just happening all of a sudden. And it was like, how do I get out of this? How do I lean into it? I like that Osto leaned into it. And I like that I like that like mechanically Osto had the ability to lean into it and like actually have a go at it, you know, that was fun. Whereas like Ethelinda didn't really, right? Like Ethelinda kind of had to fail. So that was all really enjoyable. I love the Rime Court Nobles. I had fun with them. They're really well written in the incursion as well. So that's super fun. And I'll just do my wishes. I am very interested to see how this interaction with the character on the throne goes. I changed that from the incursion. Obviously, the incursion doesn't foretell your character's brother being on the throne, right? But it's a good change, and I think it's going to be really fun to play out. And I'm really interested to see how you all escape and get back to wherever you're getting back to, because I think it's an open question still, like what you're actually gonna get out of there, right? So yeah. Anyway, any wishes from anybody?
I have a question. We only bring Ruin down in downtime, right?
You, if you have like a healing potion or something like that, you can do it. I will also sometimes let somebody have a chance at lowering Ruin if there's like a really relevant skill. Like if you're hurt and somebody has like a healing type skill, I'll give you a shot at it, but I make it a risk roll. But yeah, but in general, yeah, the downtime's it. So.
And reduction rolls from Trophy Dark do not apply in Trophy Gold?
There is no reduction roll in Trophy Gold. So.
Okay.
Anything else to say before we go?
Wish for me is, I guess, I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing how Ethelinda is during downtime, because she hasn't been there for a while.
We're very, very close to the end of the incursion, so we are going to have a good, healthy downtime thing next week, and so I'm looking forward to that as well. I do want to see. I'm sad that we're not going to see Scum, sadly, but I might, when we see Scum again, I might just do like a flashback or something to let Scum do the downtime procedure, just so we can kind of see some of that with Scum. But fortunately, like Scum's in a really good place to like be right now, since we're not going to have Scum next week, and so like it's kind of good that you're all like separated a little bit. So and then we can kind of figure out what happened to Scum later, right? But anyway, well, if there's nothing else, I'm going to stop the recording.